Well, welcome to Gospel in the Real. My name is Tasheekia Perry. Thank you so much for all of your support and all of your views, all of the comments. We really hope that this Gospel in the Real series has been a great blessing and encouragement to your life. We're just excited to get on to our next topic. However, I would like for the lovely pastor to introduce herself.
Pastor Patricia Bryan, Nazareth Church of God. And again, welcome. We're so happy that you're back with us watching this program as we have our next discussion. And this is a follow-up topic. And
This is an awesome follow-up topic because so many of us talk about it, but we never implement it into our life. Mm-hmm. And when we were at the Dress in Our Interviewee conference, you just said it so profoundly, and the analogy you use that goes along with this topic is what I think opened up so many people's eyes on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, putting on your own mask mm-hmm. before you help someone else. And the analogy was about being in flight. Yes. When you're in flight and something's happening in the flight, you can't help the person beside you until you can help yourself. So you have to put your mask on first, and then you can turn to the next person to help you, even if it's your baby. Mm-hmm. Isn't that amazing? It's your little baby, and the first thing we would think about is save the child. Mm-hmm. But honestly, we can save the child, and if we're not saved ourselves, guess what happened? The child is still alone. Absolutely. So it is better for us to be secure and then secure others. And this is such a great topic. I'm also learning this for myself mm-hmm. because we have the habit as women of just giving everything to everyone. And yes, we're supposed to help our neighbors. We're mm-hmm. supposed to love our neighbors. But the topic is we are supposed to love our neighbors as we love ourselves. Absolutely. That means I've got to take care of myself. If I don't love myself, I can't love you.
Absolutely.
It is simple as that. So that's what we're looking at. How much we as women want to just give and give and give, and we're supposed to do all of this stuff, but yet still we are many times broken ourselves.
Absolutely.
I don't believe you can serve out of a broken place.
You're absolutely right.
When I'm feeling depleted, when I'm feeling, when I'm in a place of disturbance for myself, my mind isn't right. Mm-mm. My spirit isn't right. How can I minister to you? Mm-hmm. So the first thing I have to do is heal myself through Jesus Christ. Mm. What do you got to say?
We're done. No, but you're so... The producer's looking at us. No, honestly, we have people who are blessing people halfway, mm-hmm. nurturing people halfway. They're not giving their all because they are half healed.
Yes.
Because they feel like they can get up out of their bed and make it to the job. And then they get on the job and minister to someone and wonder why you did not see the full manifestation of God's power. Mm-hmm. It's not that God's power is not there, but you came there half equipped. Yeah. Because you got out of your bed and you did the very basic. You brushed your teeth, you washed your face, you put on your clothes, but you don't have the whole armor of God on.
Amen.
And if you have not placed the whole armor of God upon yourselves, how do you think you're going to heal, encourage, inspire, motivate, influence anybody if you are not influenced that God is going to do it?
Yes, it stands to reason. Yeah. Unfortunately, our society is such a pop in, pop out mm-hmm. that many of us, we don't get the time to nurture. And somebody was saying, well, take care of your neighbor or love someone before you love yourself. Mm-hmm. But it is impossible to really be effective if you're not doing it the right way around.
Absolutely.
Remember Jesus in Matthew chapter 4, verse 1 through 12, the first 12 mm-hmm. verses you can read. Jesus walked with his disciples. But there came a time after he did all the miracles and all the healing, what did he do?
He had to get alone.
He got away mm-hmm. from his disciples. He went by himself mm-hmm. and he recovered mm-hmm. himself. In other words, he built himself up in the spirit. He built himself up in the things that you can just keep praying and talking and healing, but after a while you become sounding brass and tinkling cymbal if you're not replenishing, because the source is not from you.
Absolutely.
The source is from God. So Jesus had to go to God.
That's right.
To get reconnected, to get refilled, so we could come and pour those
Absolutely.
miracles and have all that was godly come out and overflow on others. The same thing goes for us. We've got to learn to take care of ourselves. It's not a sin. And I think a lot of us as women, as Christian women, or women that are not saved, if you're not and you're watching, even if you don't know the Lord and you are a caregiver, caregivers are great at doing this.
Yes.
They spend so much time caring for the loved one that they tend to fall apart.
Absolutely.
And then when the loved one is gone or gets better, they're the ones that are sick. So, whether you're saved or you're unsaved, the fact is you need to make sure that you are taking care of yourself. It's not pride. It's not, saying, well, it's not about me. It's not about you when it comes to caring, but it is about you being whole.
Absolutely.
To care for the people that you need to care for.
You know what? As you were talking, I was thinking about people that give other people advice. And you think about that woman who has gone through a divorce. And I've gone through a divorce myself. But you think about that woman who has gone through a divorce and who has not properly healed. And who has not properly taken care of herself. Yes. And she's now in a position to talk to someone else who may be going through a separation and the divorce is not yet. That woman who has not taken care of herself, who's giving that other woman advice, could be detrimental to that situation because you're still bitter, you're still angry, you have not allowed God to heal you properly. So when you go to give advice, instead of saying you should think about that before you make the final decision, you should probably give another opportunity. You're pretty much saying, get rid of him, he's a dog, what else happened? And it's all flowing from an empty place that you have not allowed God to fill. This is why it is so important that we take care of ourselves, because we are not in a position to, like I said in the beginning, influence, inspire, or motivate 100%. This is why we're not seeing the full manifestation.
This is why we're not seeing the flow we're looking for. Because so many are broken.
Yes.
So many are distracted. And the worst kind of sickness is a soul sickness.
Yes.
When your soul is not healed, you can minister all you want. It's not going to come out the way it should.
No, it's not going to have that effect.
It's not going to have the power of God flowing like it should. And that was a great example. I'm bitter from a divorce, and you come to ask me for advice, and I haven't gone through the process of being healed, gone to God, given him myself and said, Lord, this pain, but I need you to help me to learn how to forgive, let go of that situation, so I can be whole and
absolutely
clean. Because I have to be whole. We have to be whole. We're not called to minister from a place of brokenness, except, and let's rephrase it. Sometimes we are ministering from a place of brokenness, but we should not still be so broken that we can hurt someone else with it. Because in my brokenness, you might find help, but my help must be a godly help.
Absolutely.
At all the time.
Absolutely. So we have to have that balance. Because I know when I was going through my divorce, I preached through the entire process. Now, God's plan was to minister to me first.
Yes.
The message. And then as I embraced the message, as I ate on the message, chewed the message, right? And applied the message to my life, he allowed me to preach the message. This is why I say, never get caught up when people are preaching and place them on a pedestal up here. Because as preachers, we have to live, eat, sleep, breathe that message first. I don't care if it was in our past, present, or future. That message has to be confirmation in our spirit before we preach it.
Yes, indeed, indeed, and that's what we're preaching.
Yeah.
The things that we have experienced.
Absolutely.
We're preaching from the Word of God, but we can relate
Absolutely
to the Word of God by the things that we have experienced.
Yeah.
So that's why you must take care of yourself. And some people think just taking care of yourself might be the outer. You know, we get it mixed up sometimes.
Yeah, we do.
You know, we want to put on the eyeliner, the eyeshadow, the lipstick, and look really pretty.
Yes.
The hair is well done, da-da-da. But you can look really pretty on the outside, and the inside is a mess.
Hot mess.
We've got to make sure that what we see on the outside is also on the inside. You know, we have an analogy that beauty is really not skin deep. It's not just what you see on the outside.
Absolutely.
You can look at the person that is most unattractive. You know, somebody's really, and you look at them and you're like, oh Lord, what happened?
Yeah.
And that person can be the prettiest person
Absolutely.
coming out from the inner side.
Absolutely.
And I have found that time and time again. You know why? They're not caught up on themselves.
Absolutely.
So they have nurtured
that inner.
the inner self. And that when that person speaks to you, that flow is so beautiful. It draws you to them.
Absolutely.
And as women or of God, we're supposed to draw people. If you're pushing people away, if you find that your personality is pushing people away, you need to go to God.
Check that inner.
We have to go to God and say, God, I'm not right. I'm not right, because that's not what your word says. Men ought to follow me because of what they see in me from you.
Absolutely.
And if all I'm showing is ugliness, people will see me and say, I don't want to be associated with that person because, you know, they've got a nasty mouth, they're bitter, they're angry all the time. You know, these are things that as women we don't recognize, that we have to work with these things. God is not just going to come down out of heaven, people, and do these things for us. We have to work. It's our responsibility when we get saved to work on the issues that we have. And all of us have issues.
Yeah.
And we will always have issues because we are firstly of this clay.
Absolutely.
And this clay is weak. So we, knowing that, had to keep going back and saying, Lord, this is the clay that it wants to mess up over here. I'm surrendering it to you. So what I'm doing is dressing my inner beauty.
Absolutely.
I love when you use that topic, dressing my inner beauty, because it has to be. And you do such great work telling those young ladies, making them understand that it's not about, when you said their thighs, their hips, their butts, or anything else. It's about the person that's coming from the inside.
It is.
So we have to put our mask on.
Yeah.
We have to save and make sure that we are ready to help.
Absolutely.
Our souls got to be ready.
Absolutely.
Our minds got to be ready. Our spirits has to be ready. We cannot be part way. We have to be all the way.
Absolutely. I think you've said it to the fullest, because as pretty as we think we are and as well groomed as we may be, if someone came and sat next to us and said, you know, I just came to say my goodbyes because I'm going to go home and I'm going to commit suicide because I've tried everything that I could try. I've done all that I can do, and I don't see a point of me being here. If all we've done was dress this and paraded this, we're not going to know exactly what to say to that person when that time presents itself, because we didn't build up this. So we are encouraging those who are watching, who are listening, find time to strengthen that inner so that you can take care of the outer.
Yes, indeed. Find time. You can find it. You know, it doesn't have to take a whole day. You know, it takes us a whole day to dress the outside sometimes. You know, we're going to work, we're late, but, you know, we're going to be later because we're busy taking care of this. But if we can just get our inner beauty dressed, we can go without makeup and nobody will even notice because they will see us. they will see God. Who are we supposed to represent?
Him at all times.
Him at all times.
At all times.
At all times. So, put your mask on, my darling.
I'm going to put my mask on
I'm
first.
putting mine on.
And then I can pray for you.
Yes.
And then I can encourage you.
Yes.
And then I can influence you because it will be lasting.
Yes. Yes.
So this has been Gospel in the Real.
It's a wrap.